Today, the Four Peace Coalition brought together students, families, and administrators from all over the city of Oakland to talk about the school closures and the fact that in order to create real peace in Oakland, we need students to have safety and security at their school sites. So I was honored to have organized this and to call all my folks to come out to hear the impacted families talk about what school closures mean to them, and to also listen to folks discuss about how we can be in community to support each other when these types of traumas come up, so that we don't have to live in cities that don't prioritize the people who made Oakland what it is.
I am a student at Brookfield Elementary School. I am very sad that OUSD board is attempting to close our community school. If Brookfield gets closed, it will be very difficult for me to walk or take the bus to another school because it's not safe.
I have a lot of friends, and my favorite teacher is Miss Simba, and I went to this school since I was in TK, and I really love this school. I don't want any schools to close down, and I like brown. I don't want the brown and black school to close down.
My son Max, he has a right to an education. Your children have a right to an education. My son has a right to a life of dignity. Your kids have a right to dignity.
We have some staff over at Westlake. They're actually on a hunger strike. Maurice and Moses. They love their school and their kids so much that they're stepping up. So please give them a hand right quick. We want to send them love at Westlake. Maurice, Moses, we got you. We got you. We're going to fight for you. We're fighting for Westlake. Korematsu, Karl Munn.
My name is Churha Ott. I'm the founder of Community Ready Corps, co-founder of APTP, Field Marshal, National Field Marshal for the Black Panther Party Cubs, member of the Four Peace Coalition. What this is, we do regular cleanups, right? So we've been doing it for the last this is our fourth one. And so this is a part of the Four Peace Coalition, which was called for by Councilmember Carol Fife. And it's to figure out how we create community solutions to our problems, right? We do a thing we call peace without the police. How do we get that in our communities, right? And some people say that's anti, but we say what it is we're saying we want to create the conditions in the community that is not necessary. And we know that what creates that is investment. We know that. We know that. We know that half the folks who hustle and do whatever they're doing wouldn't do it if we had the resources. As a matter of fact, they'll fight you if you come in and do it if it's messing up the resources, right? And so our position is the same amount of monies that we put into policing, $400 million, right? Pour that $400 million into some preventative programs and give us the opportunity to mess up, right? They can mess up. They don't consent decrees, all of that. And they still say give them more. The crime rate skyrockets, they say give them more. So no matter how many times they mess up, they say give them more. We say employ that same ethic with us. Let us mess up and be like, man, give them more, right? So every time we make a mistake, let that be an incentive that we need more funding, right? We're gonna fund it, and we're gonna give them the skill sets, the support and all of those to keep them. So we're calling for investment, right? Investment, investment, investment. There's enough money to fund everybody's desire out here, period, point blank, and we'll never let them tell us otherwise, right? So we're saying that the ultimate solution is investment. If we really want peace, invest. You know what they believe in by what they invest their monies, right? Because the same people who are outraged when folks talked about defunding the police are letting our babies get defunded right now and haven't spoken to people about it. So our question is it bad to defund the police, but all right to defund our babies, right? And so we're gonna push on that, right? Invest. Even if you're against defund, all right, whatever. Give us equal amounts, right? Just give us $400 million. Let them keep theirs, let us keep ours, because what we know is if you give us $400 million, these community organizations $400 million, invest in schools $400 million, right? We know there ain't gonna be no need for them, right? We know that. right? Our communities have done it before. There have been times in our communities where the community stood up and said, you can't do that over here, right? Because they were invested in and we loved what was ours. And so that's the time we calling for right now. Investment, investment, investment.
My name is Mike Hutchinson. I'm the OUSD School Board Director for District 5. We're out here at Prescott Elementary today, bringing the community together to make sure we're standing up to this awful plan that 5 school board directors have dropped on us to close our schools. So right now it's a real simple call. We need to change 2 votes from these 5 school board directors. So it is an all-out press to pressure the school board to vote no on Tuesday. We need, if you know school board directors, pick up the phone and call them. If you run into them at the store, jam them up. If you go to church with them, make sure you're sitting next to them tomorrow. This vote is happening on Tuesday. This is the craziest thing I've actually seen in a long time, because there is no reason, no justification for this to happen, especially in this small of a window. So after you've spent the next few days jamming up the school board, we then need everyone to be at the school board meeting, which is going to be on Zoom only, starting at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. We need a show of force. We had 2,000 people on the last one. We need more this time, so we stand up and tell the school board, no, you cannot close our schools. We will not accept those kinds of decisions.
Hi, I'm Ben Tapscott, chairperson of the Newman Climates Committee. It's obvious that the district has a plan to close more black schools. They've closed 6 already in West Oakland. They've been trying to get McClymonds High School for the last 3 or 4 years. The alumni, the parents, the teachers, students, we've fought American Indian off 3 times. We do not have a money problem. We have 5 school board members that are racist, and they're trying to close all of the black schools and brown schools in Oakland, and we are going to strategize and plan to shut all the schools down. We have 2 schools at Oakland High and Oakland Tech doing it now. We're trying to contact the other 4 schools and telling them to join forces with the 2 schools, Oakland High and Oakland Tech. If they have children in the lower grades, we're requesting parents after the vote to keep their child home if they're a homemaker, or find a friend that will take their child if possible and keep them out of school. So the plan is to shut Oakland down and don't give up any of our schools, and make sure that the school board understands that they will not win this one.
Keith Brown here, supporting West Oakland, supporting the Prescott community. It's about for peace. And in order to have peace, we need to have quality public schools like Prescott. So when you're saying you're going to close a school like Prescott, that's violence against the community. That's unacceptable. We need to invest in public schools. We need to invest in peace for our community.
My name is Sabir Lockett. I'm with CRC, Community Ready Corps, and 4-Piece Community Coalition. And we out here today, to continue to do the walks that we do and the cleanups that we do. Our whole purpose and agenda is to create a sense of togetherness and an environment of solidarity to stop the violence in our community. And when we heard about the plight of the teachers, the students, the parents, the schools, and all the stuff that's happening, trying to close 13 black schools in the city of Oakland, we was completely devastated and decided we wanted to open up our walk and our cleanup for peace to give voice to this very demanding call to action. You know what I'm saying? Basically, if you close 13 black schools in the city of Oakland, what you're doing is displacing thousands and thousands of families who would have otherwise stayed in Oakland, because this is an act of gentrification, this is an act of racism, and we want to stand in solidarity against those things.
Hello, my name is Clarissa Dalford. I'm the Executive Director of Parent Voices Oakland. We're a parent-run, parent-led grassroots organization that advocates for affordable childcare. We are building power in the community for families with young children. We want to make sure that every child has a healthy start, that all of their families have the resources that they need. We are also in leadership in the Reparations for Black Students campaign with Bay Area Parent Leadership Action Network and Oakland Education Association. And we're out here today to support stopping school closures. We've been here before, And we want to make sure that we build enough power in the community, and we're doing our part in organizing families with young children. We know that this property here, Prescott, has a child development center. There is up to 4 child development centers that serve our youngest learners, ages 0 to 5, and it's set to be closed. This 150-year-old institution that we know has historically served and been supported by the Black community in Oakland since the beginning, including, like I said, our babies, is at risk right now, and we're here to fight back against that.
Good evening, Oakland. My name is Jessica Black. I'm the Black Sanctuary Director with the Black Organizing Project. Today we are here standing in solidarity with the Black Reparations Campaign. The Black Reparations Campaign and the George Floyd resolution to eliminate police from school both were great strides that happened in our community. However, unfortunately, we're experiencing major rollbacks. This school board voted to have the Black Reparations resolution enacted. They actually signed on and made a commitment to do an equity impact analysis. And now they are taking that away by threatening to close our students' schools. Unfortunately, this is a direct threat to the George Floyd resolution. This is a direct threat to the Black community. This is a direct threat to the brown community, and at this point in time we need to stand up and do something about it. So we are encouraging all people to make sure that you attend the February 8th school board meeting and tell your school board members to vote no to school closures. Thank you.
My name is Renia Webb. I am a community leader, a mother of 4, and a D6 candidate for the City Council. These school closures are unacceptable. It's an attack on our community, on our children of color, our future generations. If we're closing down the schools, we're closing down the doors, shutting the doors to access, to opportunity, to higher learning, and we know that's what's going to keep our kids out of jail, from the streets. We have to continue to reinvest in our students. As one child said to his parent, a 2nd grader asked his mom, why us? Why our schools? Our babies should never have to be sad or upset or hurt about their education, which is their place of safety and community.
Principal Anamoy Booker, 15 years here at Prescott, and when I came, Greg was my board director when I first came.
And I'm Greg Hodge, served on the school board from 2001 to 2009, supporting excellent educators like Anamoy Booker and all Carrie Secret back in the day, all of those teachers who really put kids at the center of the conversation. I think that what we're going through right now, we've seen this cycle before, the lack of investment in Black children is palpable. The fact that we are still having this conversation, we should not be having this conversation. We should be having a conversation about how do we bring more technology to our kids? How do we bring more African history to our children? How do we bring a sensitivity? I was on the phone this morning with Wade Nobles.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Nobles.
So I quoted from him, the Divine Dance.
See, there you
okay.
go. We know this work, right?
Yes.
And so Dr. Nobles and a whole bunch of folks are on their way to Kemet, otherwise known as Egypt, for another conference. It's historic. And these are our scholars who, their work should be central to the curriculum. Their work should be central to how we think about this whole prospect of education. So on days like today, where we got to organize on behalf of our children, on behalf of their parents, not the adults, not some of the other considerations that people have out here, but what are we doing for children? If we could ever put children at the center of this, we could get it right. But unfortunately, we let politics get in the way, we let greed get in the way, we let the gentrification of our minds and our property get in the way, and it's time for us to stand up and do what's right for our kids. So I'm here for that. I'm running for mayor to bring that same message to the mayoral piece. How we're using the Coliseum needs to be just embedded with investment. The kind of quick action we saw on the Howard Terminal piece should have been the same kind of action that gets applied to the Coliseum when you got Black investors and other people. We see the inequities. Everybody, it's like my grandmother used to say, everybody talking about heaven, nobody want to die. Everybody talking about equity, nobody want to be fair. And this is the moment that we're in. So we appreciate all the work that the Post is doing, all of our educators around the community and our activists, all the people you see out here today. That's why we're here, and we know that we're here for this fight, especially during Black History Month, during the Lunar New Year, the year of the tiger. I was talking about my Asian friends. The tiger represents strength and courage, add the strength and courage to the history of our people and what we're doing today, we can't do anything but win.
No closures for our school, full investments into our schools, our teachers, our facilities. The investment into community schools is even more critical right now. I can't imagine in a moment like this, in a crisis that we are facing, that we will pull the rug from under our schools, our students, our families, and leave them hanging in a place of despair, trying to understand how we are going to deliver on the educational gaps that are already before us. And so I'm fully supportive of the investments that are being called on. I'm fully supportive of us increasing investment in public education that helped raise me up. My mom is a public retired school teacher, and so the investment into the profession, into equipping our teachers with what they need, to having the income that they need, the housing that they need, our families having the investment that they need, the school systems having the investment that they need, the principals having the support that they need to help our students thrive is right now in this moment, and we will not miss it at this crossroads, not in COVID and not beyond COVID. And so, yes, we will stand supporting no closures with our OUSD schools and no closures in our flatland schools with the systemic racism that we have long endured. This is a time of action for our entire city to ensure that all of our students have what they deserve.
Hi everybody, my name is Shane Tao. I currently represent District 4. I'm a council member here in the city of Oakland and a council president pro tem on the city council. I'm also a mayoral candidate. I'm here today at Prescott Elementary to join in with families in solidarity because they are trying to close our most populated black and brown schools here in the city of Oakland, and I'm here to stand in solidarity and say that is not going to happen. We have asked our families, our working families, our black families, our brown families, our poorest families over and over to give up more and more. We know that in these same communities, it lacks the resources for healthy foods and grocery stores. We know that in these same communities, when we're going through the pandemic, and we are currently under the pandemic, that there is lack of resources here in these communities. And yet we are asking them to close down their schools. It is appalling that we are asking that. And so this is why I'm standing here in solidarity to demand for the state, our state representatives, to come and bail out our kids, to save our kids, to save our families, because we need to do better by them. If we close down these schools, what are we teaching our kids? We are teaching our kids that they don't matter. We must invest in our future and in our kids, not divest from them, not defund them. We need to show them that they matter and that we hear them, we see them. And one way to do that, it's very basic. Keep their schools open. This is a place where they have leaders that they look up to, their mentors, a place where people, where our kids can come and feel safe and feel loved up on. We cannot take that away from the kids that need it the most. And so that's why I stand in solidarity with my council colleagues, Councilmember Fife, Council President Nikki Fortunato Bass, and Vice Mayor Rebecca Kaplan, and we wrote a resolution demanding that the state come to the rescue of our kids here in the city of Oakland and other cities across the state as well, because they're doing this across the whole state, and it's always in our black, brown, and poorest communities. And it is appalling, and we need to make sure that we all stand in solidarity to make sure that if Wall Street could get bailed out, that our kids could get bailed out.